I wanna fly high up to the sky. I'm living in the mountains. Everybody know the soil so fertile. If a man sit down naked, the seeds might grow. A delightful getaway from the hustle, bustle and tricks. Oh, what a natural fix if you don't like to mix with the politics. One issue I have to resolve. If I could sort it out, all problems solved. Every time I plant corn and it start to shoot, some idiot keep forking it out the root. Make country flowers in there, fork it up. Make country produce in there, fork it up. Country start to blossom. I don't know who or where they come from. Me blind neighbor say he saw a man resembling one of them politicians. I wasn't there, so I didn't see exactly who talking up me country. Riding on me donkey, transportation bliss. Me fireside bubbling a goodie. I hear rioting in the gas crisis. Surrounded by wild animals. What a vicious pack. But none of them does launch an attack. None of them poison us like Imbert and Sat. The hunt always on, I could say that much. And true, can switch it off like crime watch. My mission now is to put a stop to whosoever fucking me country up. Some say a man named Eric, George, Robbie and Patrick. Some say Capildeo, Paris, Kamla Basteo. Old man Bedu said this ain't nothing new. They fucking up long before 1962. If Butler was around, he might have tell we directly who fucking up me country.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Rebuttal. Welcome to our Wednesday night edition. And I'm glad that you have tuned in this evening, as you have done for many weeks in a row since last year. I don't think we have missed more than one show, if any at all. But I'm always excited to be here to chit chat with you. I'm always excited when you tune in, because without you, we have no show. And this evening, I'm hoping that we can do a quick 1 hour together. And so I would like to see how many different issues we can address this evening. If you are in St. Kitts and Nevis, welcome. And if you're in the St. Kitts and Nevis diaspora, wherever you are in the world, a very special welcome to you as well. Now, I noticed that for the past couple of weeks, persons have been indicated that they are having difficulty staying connected with the show. So I'm hoping that this evening it's smooth sailing. I'm hoping that this evening no one tries to interfere with the connectivity and causes you to miss out on any part of the show. All right. So once again, I'm glad that you are here with us this evening, and welcome. Now, there's a matter that I was going to spend all night talking about, but I thought better of it. And as much as I figured that I should leave it alone, I think that is difficult for me to do. I can't leave it alone because it's something I feel strongly about, and it's something I have an opinion about. And so I'm going to play a tape, and then I'm going to talk about it on the other side. Now, the tape is just a little snippet. And so I'm sorry if I'm going to take it out of context, but it's the snippet that I heard that caused me to want to address the matter. All right? So give it a listen so you'll know the context, and then I'll come back on the other side.
6 picnic ready, he now support none of them. Why you must go and get picnic with he? Explain that to me. You think you're special? So the other 6 baby mother now get nothing from him, but you gonna get? When are you find deadbeat man, leave them where they are.
Okay. So historically, our women, our mothers have had children with more than one man. If you look around, you're not going to see a great many families where all the kids belong to the same man. That's the way it has been. Why? I don't know. I'm just saying that's the way it has been. And my family is no different. Some of those men have turned out to be good fathers, and some of those men have turned out to be deadbeat dads. Some women have gone into situations that most of us would consider to be less than adequate. But again, we don't know the psychology that causes that behavior. All right? Some of the men in relationships have had other kids outside the relationship. So they have had kids before the relationship, during the relationship, and even after the relationship. So many of us have brothers and sisters who don't share the same mother. And again, I cannot presume to know the psychology that causes a woman to get into that situation. All right? But I don't know that the manner in which the premier of Nevis spoke to and about our women, our mothers, our sisters, and our daughters was right either in tone or intent. I say that because you recognize that he is addressing the women of today. I am telling you that the women of today are really no different from the women that we grew up with, the women who mothered us. I don't know the premier's mother, and I don't know her story. Maybe she was one of the ladies amongst us who had one baby daddy. If that's the case, and if the baby daddy looked after the kids, more power to her. But that has not been the story of many of our women. And I'm not willing to dump on our women. Sure, I see what happens, but I empathize. I recognize that it's a phenomenon that I don't fully understand. But then if you turn the camera on me, that's where it gets interesting, right? Because I believe that the premier and many of us missed the point. Why is it always the women who are at fault? Why do we always see our women as less than, or not good enough, or not smart enough, or not making the right decisions? When in fact, it is often us men who are at fault. It is sometimes us men who connive to put women in certain situation. And so it's sometimes us men who are at fault and who are not good enough. Yet we are quick to dump on our women. We are quick to dump on our women who have kids with more than one man, or who have multiple kids with men who do not look after their kids. Yet, as I say, we hesitate to talk about us men who treat our women like dirt and who fail to live up to our responsibilities. I am a man and I have 4 kids with 3 different ladies, yet nobody talks badly about me because I'm a man. We fail to give our women praise for raising our kids with less than, and do so in a manner that see those same kids, like myself, grow up to become premiers, prime ministers, CEOs, permanent secretaries, heads of department. See us grow up to be successful. And we fail to look back at the minimum resources that these mothers had to get us to where we are. We should love up our women because they do the best with the shitty end of the stick that we hand to them. We, meaning men. So a lot of the time, you see, the truth does not tell the whole story. You know, I was going to talk about this all night, you know, but I changed my mind. I wonder sometimes about some of us who hold ourselves up as paragon of morality. It is easy to point a finger, but it's hard, much harder, to offer solutions, to fix problems. So here is what I would say. And listen to me. The Premier was right. But in my estimation, his disgust was misplaced. Think about it. The Premier finds himself in a position to do something about deadbeat dads. He has the power to pass ordinances. He has the power to pass legislations. And he can force would-be deadbeat dads to live up to their responsibilities. Garnish the wage if you must, but ensure that they pay child support. Of course, you can't force them to stay with the woman, but you could ensure that they pay meaningful child support. You could ensure that they look after the kids. So pass a law or shut up. Fix the problem or be quiet. Because I know you were talking to my mother. I know you were talking to my sister. I know you were talking to my friends. And I am sure that they could do without your hollow rhetoric and empty platitudes. I'm just saying. I'll be back.
I love being in related style and dress fine, or should I say classy. That is why I shop at First Class next to the taxi stand at Port Sante for fine gold and silver jewelry in precious, semi-precious and colored stones, diamonds and crystal watches, and the hottest handbags and wallets. And when I want to buy a gift for someone, that's easy too. I just ask them to make me a gift basket, and First Class has the best prices at Port Sante. So no matter what the occasion, come on into First Class and leave happy, knowing you've gotten the best deal for your money. It's First Class at Port Zante, where quality, low prices, and top-notch service are second to none.
Spread the word. New and exclusive every Sunday from 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's the Gospel Cafe with Carl D. Springate on KYSS FM 102.5. Tune in and connect with the Holy Ghost Connection with live interviews, Christian news, what's hot and what's not, in the now. Birthdays and anniversary shout-outs available, Bible Jeopardy, Beyond the Pulpit, and positive entertainment and ministry. Testimonies and the pastor's moment with Spread the Word. So tune in as we drop the latest gospel hits, 100% flat. It's the Carl D. Springate Gospel Cafe, Sundays from 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KYSSFMonline.com and 102.5 FM. And be blessed like that.
One fashion accessories for really low prices. Check silver and cents. Check silver and cents. Beauty supplies and weave, genuine fragrances. Check silver and cents. Check silver and cents. Handbags so beautiful, your friends will envy how you look. With perfume to smell just right, you feel like you're in paradise. Watches, silver jewelry, and hair accessories. Check silver and cents in the Amri Mall on Deon Street.
Ready or not, hear my clothes, can't hide. Gonna find you and make you want me.
Ain't nobody tell me nothing. Can't tell me nothing.
I'm Shaniel Francis. Kyssfm 102.5 is proud to announce its brand new morning show, Backchat, the only place to hear the hottest music.
I'm local.
Check me area code, direct me area code. Anywhere me go, you know me touch the
To international.
Ay, I go shopping, want it then I cop it. Ay, yeah, bitches popping, I do what they copy.
And have you informed with a range of topics.
So on Mondays to Fridays, tune in at 8 to 11.
You won't want to miss the vibes on
Backchat.
Ready or not, hear my clothes.
I wanna fly high up to the sky. I'm living in the mountains. Everybody knows the soil so fertile. If a man sit down naked, the seeds might grow. A delightful getaway from the hustle, bustle, and tricks. Oh, what a natural fix if you don't like to mix with the politics. One is you I have to resolve. If I could sort it out, all problems solved. Every time I plant corn and it start to shoot, some idiot keep fucking it out the root. Make country flowers in it, fuck it up. Make country produce in it, fuck it up. Country start to blossom. I don't know who or where they come from. Me blind neighbor say he saw a man resembling one of the politicians. I wasn't there, so I didn't see exactly who fucking up me country.
Welcome back to the Rebuttal. I'm your host, Douglas Wattley. Now let us turn our attention to the economy. Because early up in the year, I told you that the economy was already in a recession. A recession that essentially started in 2017. I did tell you all that. And then after the COVID, and I looked at the so-called stimulus package, I recognized that the government, its focus was misplaced. And so I knew that the economy was going to take a beating. So said, so done. Now the IMF is saying that the economy has contracted, has declined some 18.7%. But I was telling you that it had declined somewhere in the region of 17 to 20%. Now, that is not good. It is not good because I do not get the impression that this government understands the economy. I know that they'll be listening to me, I know that they'll tune in. Because they know that I know things. I'm observant. That stimulus package was crafted so that they could talk about big money, $120 million. And that was done so that you would be able to say, yay, my government is providing $127 million. I'm going to vote them back into office. And so you did. And so you did. To your detriment, so you did. Remember, the only people in St. Kitts who are in a fairly decent position would be those persons paid by government, whether it's pensioners or persons in the public service, civil service, etc. All right? That's because government takes tax money and pays it to salaries and wages. Nothing is wrong with that. Nothing is wrong with that. You have to keep the people working, because if the people not working, they don't have money to look after themselves and they don't have money to spend. And it's the spending. That's what Douglas was trying to tell you all. It's the spending that keeps the economy buoyant. If 70% of the economy is consumption, then consume away, brother. Consume away. Now I hear them talking, tourism. Tourism only make up one tiny bit of the economy. And that tiny bit is taking a beating right now. And so it seems to me that now is when you're supposed to be talking to those people who are affected by the tourism shortcomings and see how you could put them into other areas. If I were to do it, I would have figured out a way to make sure that the people who work in the tourism industry have second jobs. I would have figured out how to do that so that the people who drive taxi would be persons who do other things. I haven't figured it out yet. I'm just throwing out an idea. You see, because when I remember many years ago now, when we were building up the hotel industry, a gentleman, I can't remember his name, and I can't even remember who he was and why we were talking. But he was commending us on taking it slowly when it comes to building up hotels and so forth. But that was before Marriott and Park Hyatt and so forth. Because he was saying, look, the problem with tourism and the problem with all these hotels is that when there is a downturn, it's hell to pay, He said going up is sweet, but coming down is sour as hell. You understand? And so what we have to do is make sure that we create a new type of industry, a new type of situation within the industry where the people who work in the industry have something to fall back on. Have something to fall back on. So, for instance, a guy who runs a taxi, you may want him to have a farm. You may want him to run a farm. And so he could carve out times when he could run his taxi. All right? You may want to have a situation where some persons working in the hotels, right, may have a cleaning business as well. But you see, it takes a little dexterity to coordinate such an industry or such a situation. I'm talking off the top of my head right now, but I'm trying to figure out a way to make sure that when there is a downturn, that people are not as displaced as they have been found to be displaced this time around. You have people with a lot of sense around St. Kitts, and you should give them the opportunity to figure out models that would help us. Well, of course, you all don't want to listen to nobody, and you're surrounded with non-thinkers, so I don't understand why you all don't want to listen to anybody. Because the key is to make sure that in a downturn, your country is recession-proof as much as possible. That is what you're supposed to be building right now. A country that is sturdy in the face of a recession. But like I say, I don't listen to nobody. Right? But right now, we are in a deep hole. And even though, understand this, even though it is believed by the IMF that we may grow at about 8%, which is what you're going to hear them talk about, you are still going to be more than 10% in the hole. So you are still not going to be back where you were. And I'm telling you that we are not going to get back there in under 5 years. You're not going to get back there in under 5 years. The country is going to be in a bad way for the next couple. And so even though it might record positive growth, high growth, the problem is the country would have contracted so far that it's going to take time to get back. Just like in the States, tomorrow they're going to probably announce that there was economic growth somewhere in the region of 30%, but the economy dropped so damn far that 30% is hardly going to get the country back to normal. Same thing in St. Kitts. We have dropped so far that 8% growth ain't hardly enough. And usually, we don't beat our forecast. Usually, we lag behind. So that 8% might turn out to be just a 6%, which is going to take us longer to get out of the rut. I am telling you right now that the economy didn't have to contract as much as it did. The government didn't do enough with its so-called stimulus. A lot of that stimulus wasn't spent. May I ask you? May I tell you? For instance, remember in the stimulus it says that the government was going to put $30 million for mortgages. How much of that spent? That $30 million needed to be put into the economy. That $30 million needed to to find itself in the hands of the people so that the people can in turn spend, because it's spending that keeps your economy afloat. They said they're going to give farmers $12 million. I doubt farmers get $5 million. And so that $120 million was just a ruse. A lie them in a lie. And now you know that they were lying. Because if they weren't lying, the economy would not have contracted anywhere near 19 or so percent. 18.7%, you round up, that's 19%, you know. The economy is... Look, think about it. Think about it. In a normal recession, we might drop down to minus 3% economic growth. And we ball mother the economy dead. We ball mother things hard. We know it down by 18.7. I could imagine how it is. I could imagine how it is. Things can't be good. And so, what I think is going to happen is that the economy is going to stay hard for a while. You're going to suffer, but you're going to shut up because a lot of you took money to vote. You're going to shut up and you ain't going to say a thing. And then coming on to the next election, the government going to borrow a whole wash of money and spread it around, and you're going to vote for them again. Ignoring all the hardship you went through for 5 years. And ignoring all the hardship you would go through again under them for another 5 years. All you know is you get some money in your hand and you're good. Right now I hear all these people, a lot of these people who take money. Money done, now them a thief money out of people's purse and so. You understand? It ain't right. We should not take no money for no vote, you know. Because oftentimes when you see some people having to pay for votes, it's because they know they don't deserve to be elected, re-elected based on their record. And so they pay you. And so when you vote them back in, the same bad record they had continues. Excuse me. If I good, if I know I good, right? Me ain't going to pay you to get my goods. Cause me good. But they know them in so bad. Coming on to the election, they make sure they spend money on you. And you take it. And it's funny, you know. The people who were talking about giving you money long-termly, you ignore them. You all realize right now what's happening? You realize right now what's happening? Public servants, civil servants ain't gonna get no salary increase for the next 15, 20 years, you know. Because you missed the opportunity. And you have put in power those who never was interested in looking out for after you. And you say, but Wattley, how you going to give salary increase in that time like this, man? That is when you give the increase. That is when you put more money in the people's hand. You realize that the public service, right, is more than 5,000 people, you know. And if you give more than 5,000 people money, guess what? You're getting back some for Social Security, right? You strengthen Social Security. You're getting back some when they go out and they spend, because when they spend, you're getting VAT. You're getting back some because guess what? They go on and they build a house, you know. And so they got to buy materials and support. And again, TDC gonna do well, Hasford gonna do well, but the country also gonna do well because VAT again. But right now, you ain't got nothing. Cotton to are you, nothing a keep. So no money circulating. The economy is seized up. Now, that's two different school of thoughts. Tim believes that whatever money he got, he should hug it. He should hold on to it so that he could spend it close to the election. To hell with you if you suffer up until the election. So he wants to hug the money right now. Right? So that he could say he got surplus. But he not spend no surplus on you. Look at what's happening up the port right now. So the people up the port are asked to take a 25% pay cut across the board. Remember, I don't tell you, public servants, and they are public servants, they are just not civil servants, but they are public servants. Public servants are going to be asked to take pay cuts, even while the people who getting pay for peace are getting increases, I understand that the bosses of those gangs are going to be getting duty free and one vehicle. That's what I hear. But they are certainly not going to get no pay cuts, Pay cuts are for suckers like you. Yeah, go tell them I call you suckers. I only meant those who got paid to vote for Team Unity. And so now at the port, you got to take 25% less. You know what that means? That means if you are making $10,000, you're going home with $2,500 less. That's your mortgage. You know, I'm plan for that. That are your mortgage. You understand? You went to cabinet and you tell cabinet, this is your financial situation at the port. We would like you to help. What cabinet say? Take a pay cut. You understand? Take a pay cut. What cabinet should have done is cover you. That is what cabinet should have done. But that's the tale of two schools of thought. Now, we are going to have, like I said, a tough time for the next couple of years. I'm going to talk to you about some other things after this break. Talk back to you.
I love being in the latest style and dress fine, or should I say classy. That is why I shop at First Class next to the taxi stand at Port Sante for fine gold and silver jewelry in precious, semi-precious and colored stones, diamonds and crystal watches, and the hottest handbags and wallets. And when I want to buy a gift for someone, that's easy too. I just ask them to make me a gift basket, and First Class has the best prices at Port Sante. So no matter what the occasion, come on into First Class and leave happy, knowing you've gotten the best deal for your money. It's First Class at Port Sante, where quality, low prices, and top-notch service are second to none.
Spread the word. New and exclusive every Sunday from 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's the Gospel Cafe with Carl D. Springate on KYSS FM 102.5. Tune in and connect with the Holy Ghost Connection with live interviews, Christian news, what's hot and what's not in the now. Birthdays and anniversary shout-outs available, Bible Jeopardy, Beyond the Pulpit, and positive entertainment and ministry. Testimonies and the pastor's moment with Spread the Word. So tune in as we drop the latest gospel hits, 100% flat. It's the Carl D. Springate Gospel Cafe, Sundays from 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KYSSFMonline.com and 102.5 FM. And be blessed like that.
One fashion accessories for really low prices. Check silver and cents. Check silver and cents. Beauty supplies and weave, genuine fragrance. frequencies. Check silver and cents. Check silver and cents. Handbags so beautiful, your friends will envy how you look. With perfume, just smell just right, you feel like you're in paradise. Watches, silver jewelry, and hair accessories. Check silver and cents in the Amri Mall on Deon Street.
Ready or not, hear my clothes, you can't hide. I'm gonna find you and make you want me.
Ain't nobody tell me nothing. Can't tell me nothing.
I'm Shaniel Francis. Kyssfm 102.5 is proud to announce its brand new morning show, Backchat, the only place to hear the hottest music.
I'm local.
Check me area code, me area code. Anywhere me go, you know me touch the
To international,
Ay, I go shopping, want it then I cop it. Ay, yeah, bitches popping, I do what they copy.
And have you informed with a range of topics.
Tell me nothing.
so on Mondays to Fridays, tune in at 8 to 11.
Tell me nothing.
You won't want to miss the vibes on
Backchat.
ready or not, hear my clothes.
I wanna fly high up to the sky. I'm living in the mountains. Everybody knows the soil so fertile. If a man sit down naked, the seeds might grow. A delightful getaway from the hustle, bustle and tricks. Oh, what a natural fix if you don't like to mix with the politics. One issue I have to resolve. If I could sort it out, all problems solved. Every time I plant corn and it start to shoot, some idiot keep fucking it out the root. Make country flowers in it, fuck it up. Make country produce in it, fuck it up. Country start to blossom. I don't know who or where they come from. Me blind neighbor say he saw a man resembling one of the politicians. I wasn't there, so I didn't see exactly who fucking up me country.
So welcome back to the Rebuttal. I'm Douglas Wattley, your host. I notice that quite a bit of work has gone into getting ready to open up the borders for incoming traffic from overseas. I'm beginning to think that the whole reopening of the borders is going to be some disappointment. Going to cause some disappointment. It's going to be some letdown. I'm inclined to believe further that the cost of operation may outweigh the economic benefit with respect to opening the borders. Already I'm hearing that British Airways is cancelling its flights for November. I'm hearing that Air Canada is possibly going to cancel its flights to St. Kitts. Because let's face it, the global situation with respect to the pandemic is quite possibly worse than it was when we shut down earlier in the year. It is true that we may not have reported cases in St. Kitts, but everywhere from which we expect passengers or visitors, they are seeing a surge. The pandemic is worsening in Europe. The pandemic is worsening in the US. The pandemic is worsening, albeit to a lesser extent, in Canada. Well, let me ask you, where you going to get people from to come in? And when they come in, you expect them to stay in quarantine for 14 days. Some people say that if they come with the test, you're going to let them stay in quarantine for 7 days. But that's a mistake, because persons could have a clean test after they had a negative test and be shedding the virus 10, 14, 15 days later. And I'm telling you, this virus ain't done with us yet. It's going to infect a lot of us and it's going to kill a lot of us. And for that reason, I don't see how is it different to open the borders now as opposed to open them the 31st of June this year, or opening them the 1st of April, or the 1st of June. What's different? Because it was never a situation where we were afraid that we couldn't contain a spread in St. Kitchener. It was a situation where we were afraid to bring in persons into the country who were infected. And the situation has not changed. And I suspect that's one of the reasons why you find people not coming from Britain, people not coming from Canada. Because let's face it, if they come out of Britain, I can't see you just causing them to quarantine for 7 days. I can't see that. Because Britain hot like a tamale right now. And so that's why I'm telling you, this hardship is going to continue for a while longer. Social Security. Last week I talked to you all about Social Security. Now I understand that there are some people in certain institutions who are querying, regional institutions who are querying about the person we have leading the Social Security. Got no clue, they say. But me don't tell her that. How you going to put somebody who can read a balance sheet to run one of your finest, one of your most impactful financial institution? There's a limit to political patronage, you know. And so if somebody doesn't take charge and make decisions down there, as in the board, you're all going to have problems. And it was now because the vex with the fella from Kean, the jokey minister from Kean, because he ain't put back the Harris fella on the board. But that might be for the good of the board and for the good of the institution. I'm telling you all right now that Social Security is headed into uncharted waters, right? And that is not good. It needs strong, independent leadership in that organization there. And it doesn't have that. I was previously talking about diversifying the economy. Let me say something else. It dawned on me that while it is true we think that diversification means out of tourism or what have you, I'm going to tell you what it really means, It means that we have to find a way to make up for the 31 plus percent of revenue that comes from the CBI, More than 30% of our revenue come from the CBI. And so you have to think that source of revenue is fickle. Dubai right now is taking a beating, right? And so maybe you got to find a way to market your passports. I already think that we've sold enough passports. Dominica says that over a period of 3 or so years, they sold more than 5,000 passports and they brought in something like $1.4 billion. That's a lot of money. And I think we could see where the money going in Dominica. But that's a lot of money. But that's also a lot of passport. Because I suspect that St. Kitts did 3 times that much. Plus what was sold under the previous government. And so I would really like to know how many citizens by investment we have out there. Because you all know what I think about that. I might be in the minority, but I'm usually seldom wrong. So, I want to, before I go, put in a plug and a reminder to the government that literally thousands of persons are waiting on their severance. It would appear to me that you are doing somewhere in the region of 100 applications per month. If that is the case, and if by your own admission you got something like 1,800 people who have made requests for severance pay, you're telling me that people are going to be waiting until next year, maybe all like now, so, to get the severance? You better put additional people in that department and speed up the rate at which people are getting the severance. Because every day you don't give them the severance, is every day they go deeper in the fiscal or financial hole. And by the time they get the money, it's useless. You got to pay off what they don't spend. You understand? So I think you need to put some more resources in that department and make sure that these things are processed. It can't be that you're not wanting to spend the money. The money there. Give the people them the money. Now I hear that some people are thinking of causing or asking people to take 50% of their severance. For what? Give the people them the money. You got surplus upon surplus up the wazoo. Give the people them the money. See, when you get people vexed, or you're going to still vex that they vex. There's no telling what people going to do when they vex. So pay the people their money. You understand what I'm saying? All right. I think on that note, we're going to call it a night. And then we're going to pick up with the conversations as they come to me next week, God willing. You all have a good evening. Take care. And we'll chit chat with you.
know the crime and the permissiveness in the society. Hey, you give me TV, you give me cable, you also give me pornography. You give me drugs, you give me guns, you also give me a modern telephonic connection. Plus you bloody well know where there are progressive tendencies, there rises in criminal activity. There rises in criminal activity. Helicopter over the area. What are you calling for? Why is it as soon as the crime done, the police hurry come? What are you calling for? You see, nobody concentrates on preventative measures. Nobody gives a damn about the very roots of the problem. What are you calling for? For what are you about? I saw mother walking there tonight. Yes, man. Hey! Hey! You educate me in school. You inflicted that golden rule. You made sure I didn't become a fool. You gave me ideas. You gave me hope. You gave me reasons to regard you as a role model. I followed your leadership. I followed your example. But now the both of us end up in trouble. Helicopter over the entire area. What are you calling for? Why is it as soon as the explosion, the police hurry come? What are you calling for? Nobody concentrates on the preventative measures. Nobody gives a damn about the very root of the problem. What all you in here calling for? For all you are born. I wouldn't fall. Oh, I saw. I just don't want to be critical without offering a couple of solutions. Start anti-drug classes, build rehabilitation centers, and cable ought to be held monitored. And the police should manifest a true symbol of honest impartiality. And the same police ought to share more information with the press and the rest of the community. For in the final analysis, it's we, the same people, they're coming for help with the investigative inquiry. What are you Brother, the black did not become a fool. I followed your leadership. I followed your example. I made sure I regarded you as a role model. You gave me hope. You gave ideas. You also gave me reasons to regard you as a role model. And now, today, look, they know both of us end up in trouble. Scotland Yard, all over Sadler's area. Brother, what? You're balling far. Why is it as soon as the crime done, them police hurry come? What are you balling for? You see, nobody concentrates on preventative measures. Nobody gives a damn about the rules